What is going on, wild youth, and anyone else who's watching this? Actually, if you're not part of our youth ministry, that's okay. You're not, and you guys are here. So, for those of you who don't know what's going on, this is our couch session. We did those at the start of the first lockdown. Now we're in like lockdown number 10. All those rules and things have changed so many times, but here we are, and it's going to be good. No giggles, Courtney. So do you guys want to just introduce yourselves? Tell us who you are and what you do, maybe. I don't know if that's a thing, but let's go for it. Let's start with Foss. She looks the most excited.
My name is Kaylee, and I am a communications graduate. And
Wow.
I know it sounds fancy when you put it like that. It's even in my LinkedIn profile. Communications graduate.
LinkedIn,
I know.
Katie Foss. Go find her.
See, I'm not in youth ministry anymore.
Yeah, we can tell that. Yeah, we can tell that.
Kidding. Love youth ministry. Yeah, I think
That's cool. Yeah. Miggies?
Cool. So my name is Miggs, or Miguel, as most people call me. But yeah, so I'm basically, well, this is not a good time to ask, but unemployed.
Between jobs.
I've got a finance degree, so I'm smart, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Miggs and searching for a job.
If you have one out there, just put in the
One of your
comments.
dads
You
is
can also
a
check out his
finance
LinkedIn
director.
profile.
Yeah,
Find me on
he's
LinkedIn.
also on LinkedIn.
Not Instagram.
Not
Terrible.
Instagram. No, none of that. Coco?
This is a real low.
I'm Courtney, and I work for the church.
Now you do.
Now I work for the
Hey,
church.
yo.
Years of looking after 2-year-olds and changing diapers, and I'm.
Did they
in the big
never
leagues.
grow up?
The big one.
So what was years of 2-year-olds?
Courtney, how was day one?
She was 3 when I left,
Ah, okay.
so she grew up.
That's good.
But yes. What did you ask me?
I
Miguel?
said, how was day one of work? Your first day that you started, yeah.
When?
There was
Did you
only
bring
one of
anything
them.
for everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a funny joke. It was traumatizing, actually.
Okay. So what we want to do is we want to talk about something today, and really what we felt to speak into. A while ago, we did a series at youth called Future Friends. Okay, and kind of the idea is looking at friendships, looking at the people that you're around, and really just looking at our lives. And there's that there's a statement. I'm not exactly sure who said it, but they said, "Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future." Right? And I really think that that's so powerful. And so kind of the idea today is that we're going to discuss just really about friends, what bad friends are, what good friends are, the realities of good and bad mates, and what they can do for your life. But maybe Miggs, if you want to start us off there, bro, because just around the idea of like, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And you were sharing a little bit earlier before, just the fact that that some of your friends that you did have and where they're at now, and the differences in your guys' lives and what that looks like.
Yeah, so I grew up in the good old Pound Town.
Hey, yo.
Actually next to it, the complex next to it.
Yes,
So that was quite fun, except I don't think we knew it for a few years.
for so long. And then I only came
What
to your
a
house
waste.
like
Once,
twice.
literally once to play Xbox.
And I remember, this is so ridiculous, it traumatized me actually. We played FIFA, and I didn't have FIFA, so I was terrible.
Yeah.
And Miguel was really good at the time. Maybe still.
Still.
Maybe still.
Yeah.
Ed, watch this. And you took the ball from a throw-in, and you threw it, and your guy bicycle kicked it from like out of the box into the net, and you just
That's
did
amazing.
a lap around your table. And I was like, I'm never coming here again.
That's
I
amazing. I
suck
didn't
at
even know I
this so
did that.
bad.
Shame, it still scars me today.
Still scars me, yeah.
But yeah, so I grew up next to Ed, but I lived in a complex most of my life till I was 19. And the thing with a complex, if any of you listening live in a complex, would know that you make friends with those that live in your complex. And there were like 62 units, so there were a lot of young guys. And I think it was pretty much end of primary school, beginning of high school. I made a good couple of friends, and there were some really good friendships that I even keep today. But there were quite a few friendships that I'm glad I don't have anymore. And as Ed was saying, like, the thing is that in that time of my life, like, you didn't go out. My parents didn't take me to go see friends' houses. My friends were there, or we walked to our friends' houses. And looking back today, like, I think about the moments where maybe not such wise decisions were made, and where some of those friends weren't the greatest of influences, and like I had the issue where, and even carried this into high school, where I'd often try and make friends with people older than me and the cool kids, but often those cool kids were doing not so cool things. And like I even think back to it, like early high school days, like when I entered high school at 12, which is crazy to think about.
Sure.
You're a
Small
young
boy,
kid,
hey?
hey? Small kid with a big head. Great, eh?
We
No,
are
I'm
the same.
kidding.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. But basically, like starting off in high school and having friends in the complex that were like 15, 16, and they were experimenting different things. And like, I think back now and I'm like, how did I not do that? How did I not fall into that gap of doing what they did? And some of them turned their lives around. Some of them are in church now, which is incredible. But quite a few of them are like, if you had to ask them, they wouldn't be pumped where their life is right now. And I think what the difference was whilst those were my friends and those were the easiest groups to communicate with, I was starting to come to youth from grade 8. And when there was potential for me to be influenced one way or the other, I started to find myself, without even realizing it, hanging out more with good influences or people at the church and at youth that I started to lean on and look up to and start to hang out with them and see what is the right way to do things. And slowly but surely, as I went through youth, I stopped hanging out with those people in the complex. And I don't know where I would be today if it wasn't for that, and if it wasn't for the friendship that I had to choose, not the friendship that was just put in front of me.
Yeah, that's good. That's really cool, bro. And I don't know, Foss, if you want to share a little bit, because you were saying about like even with what Megs you just mentioned, like having those good and bad friends and kind of what that looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, like we were chatting beforehand as well, like high school, I think we all know it's just a tough time. Like people are going through the things and like it's hectic and confusing. And I had a group of friends that I thought were BFFs for life, you know? Like it's so bad whenever the Facebook memories come up, I just die. I'm like, oh my word, like what did people think at the time? Like all the Lumo and the hashtags, and I really, and that's fun. I think we do go through seasons of different friends, but I think grade 10, and it probably is the same now, is where people start to make maybe like life decisions that have like a more lasting impact. And whether it's maybe experimenting with some stuff or hanging out with older crowds. And I was pretty naive. I grew up pretty sheltered, so I wasn't exposed to too much stuff that was like maybe not good for me. But then when my friend group started like just getting involved or just being like really interested in like whether it was smoking or drinking or whatever, like I was a bit like confused and also just that I think is like sometimes the more obvious thing to like, you know, like in all our LO textbooks, it's like that's the stuff that comes up, like, you know, don't do drugs. Like if you have friends that do drugs, like maybe stay clear and, you know, until they figure their stuff out or get some help. Yeah. But then there's the more subtle things, which now looking back in hindsight, like it was silly things like we had BBM in our day. So yeah, we're very old.
BlackBerry Messenger, for those that don't know.
BlackBerry Messenger.
Yeah, Ed doesn't know.
I never had it actually. It was a super niche thing because you had to have a BlackBerry.
Yes.
And I mean, you guys don't know the data. You think you know the data struggle. Back then, 59 Rand got you unlimited internet, uncapped, and you could
do whatever on BlackBerry Messenger.
And it's crazy because that in itself, now thinking about it, like probably made a lot of kids feel really left out. Like I know because you were literally
this cool cat
excluded from like everyone's
and Samantha.
Yeah, it's hectic. And like I now thinking back at those girls that maybe those friends that just went in a different direction, and I'm really grateful because I was welcomed into a group that were from this church. So honestly, like not even my doing, like that I had good
mainly
friends.
Miguel's doing.
Tried for years.
Yeah. But like I was welcomed, so super grateful for that. But also those friends, like just how they used technology to, and even in the basics, like to exclude and like put up stuff on their statuses that I wasn't involved in, or post photos of a beach day that I wasn't invited to, like. And I think that's where, as girls, we can be quite sneaky and not be good friends and, use social media as like a weapon and
That's
toxic.
good. Yeah, it can be super toxic.
Especially toxic.
Toxic. Hey, Coco, what do you want to say around being a good friend or a bad friend?
Being a good
Which one were you?
I was just about to say that. Mine's a little bit like sort of on Katie's, except I was so I came from Joburg. I never used to live in Durban, and in my school, in order to survive, sounds so hectic, but in order to survive, you really had to be, I don't know a nice way to say this, but like the mean girl. Otherwise, you were just going to get eaten alive by girls. And I'm not even saying that as a joke. But so then I came to Durban in like grade 11. So actually, I was the bad friend influencing everyone to like drink and like go out and like, I don't know why people thought I was cool, but apparently I had that influence.
Apparently you had crazy house parties.
The best.
Like,
Yes, I
like
heard
crazy
about that.
house party. Yeah, okay. No, yeah, don't expose me. But anyways, so I wasn't the greatest friend in terms, even like coming to school, I still had that mentality of you had to be mean to survive. And obviously, depending on your life, sometimes you be mean to protect yourself because you're scared, I don't know, to get hurt again, or you're scared, or whatever. You're scared of rejection. So I still had that mentality coming here. And I, for some reason, I don't know why, made friends with the sweetest girls. So like Kay and Sean and Isabella and like Claire and Kristen, they were all like really sweet. And I just wasn't. I was quite so I was a mean girl, as I said. So I think, but I'm grateful that I actually made those friends, because even though I was mean and through like having a little bit of like a hard heart, or like constantly trying to protect myself, I had sweet friends that pushed past that. And honestly, that's probably the main reason why I am who I am today, because they were good friends and they loved me, even though I wasn't very lovable. So now I can sit here and I can be a good friend to others. Do you know if that makes sense?
Yeah, that's good.
So I think it's important to be a good friend to people, even when they're not that good to you. Obviously, protect yourself. Protect yourself. But I'm just saying you'll never know the impact of being kind to someone when they're not kind to you, or loving someone when they a little bit like annoying, or because you just don't know. You don't know what people are going through. You don't know why people are the way they are, especially in high school. So yeah, I owe a lot to my friends, but yeah, I'm just grateful my friends loved me, because it made a big difference.
Yeah.
More than they probably know.
Yeah.
But,
Well, now they know.
well, now they know. But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And I also feel like, even with what Court is saying, like, this is the wrong phrase, but like safety in numbers, like, and I mean, like, you were one person who, like, maybe you were very different from the rest of the girls, and
So different.
like, you know, but because there were so many of them, and like the same, like in my case, like a bunch of kids who all went to youth, or even if they don't, but just like kids that just live a healthier lifestyle or whatever, it's a lot easier than if you're one kid who like is really trying hard to be a good friend or a good person or follow Jesus, and now you're gonna go and like try and love 10 like not so great, or people that like, you know, need love. It's difficult. It's very hard in that kind of situation, you know, like
Yeah, it's
then
good.
they're gonna impact you rather than you impact them.
Yeah.
I think.
There's a scripture that says bad company corrupts good character.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, it's tying in so much with what you guys are saying, and even the analogy that I remember now that you mentioned that, Foss, the last time when we did this series was actually, I told the story of when Sia drowned on our young
Yeah.
adults camp.
I remember.
Not Sia Nzamande, Sia Madonda, and the analogy that I used there was that, like, he dropped into the water and Karaba swam out to go and rescue him, and sometimes, like, that's the situation in our friendships. We've got a bad friend who's drowning, and we think, oh no, I'm good, I'm a good person, like, I will go and rescue them. But what ended up happening is that Karabo ended up getting drowned with Sia.
Yeah.
Like, that's what happens. Like, drowning people try and drown you. Like, it's just a natural instinct. You try and survive. And so it doesn't matter how hard and how nice you want to be. If you're going into a situation where someone's drowning, like you're putting yourself at danger. But then even in that situation, what happened was that then myself, Miguel, Jagan, I think it was just the three of us that
Yeah.
like we jumped in to go save
So
now
dramatic.
Karabo and Sia. But because now there were four
Group
of
of
us
us, yeah.
around Sia, we were able to then rescue him and help Karabo back,
Definitely.
and then all of us were safe.
Yeah.
Whereas just Karabo by himself probably would have ended up drowning with
Yeah.
Sia. And so exactly what you're saying, like safety in numbers, like if there is somebody in your grade, and it's not about saying like I'm not going to sit with you because you're drowning, like it's not about that.
Or
It's
good
not.
people, bad people.
Yeah, it's not like you're too bad for me. I'm a drown, and so like yeah, that's not what you're trying to
Definitely
do
not
here.
what Jesus would
no,
do.
no. But it's like saying, okay, cool. We see that person drowning. How do we save them without us drowning?
Yeah.
And then let's go together.
Can I just add? I think like the key point is the we, because it would have been easy if one of Courtney's good friends came and tried to help her, and then maybe they would have been like pulled down. But the fact is that there was a group of people that came and a group that approached. It doesn't physically mean at break time physically going up to
Five
your friend,
people
five of
going
you,
up to
hi
the
there.
Hello.
We've
You
come to make you
drowning.
good.
We've come to save you.
'Cause,
Here's some armbands.
yeah, you'll push them away. But I think it's numbers are important, and I think like there's a reason why Jesus traveled with disciples, and like
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah,
when
that's
we're in a
good.
group, we can do good stuff.
No, it's really
Mhm.
good, Megs. That's cool. I think it would be really cool for us just to share quickly, because obviously we've all shared a little bit about bad friends and the influences of bad friends, and Courtney a little bit on good friends. But like,
Yeah.
what are some really good things that you look for in friendships? And I did mention this a little bit when we were just chatting. Is that like I think sometimes we think that friendships just like happen, and it's like you fall in love with somebody. It's like, oh, I fell in friendship. Like, oh yeah, we became friends somehow. Woo! But like, but actually, we need to be intentional about our friendships. And there are definitely friends that I have now where I was like, I want to be your friend. Like, I don't care if you want to be mine. I'm going to be yours. Like, and then like pursued that because I saw like good in their life, and I was like, I want that person with me to do life with me. And so yeah, I don't know if you guys want to just share maybe one thing, two things that you look for in a friend, where you're like, these are traits that really are good for me as a person, and I need in my life, and that I look for in friends. And yeah. Do you want to go, Megs?
Yeah, I think it's the good old loyalty, but I think many people perceive loyalty as something different to what I think it is. And like I think a lot of people are like loyalty in the sense that if your friend does something stupid, you back him no matter what. And I don't think that's loyalty. I think you're being loyal to stay in good step with your friend, but you're not being loyal to help them grow. And I think like when I think of a loyal friend, I think of somebody that is loyal enough to me and to see my growth that they'll call me out when something isn't going right. And and if it's a good friend, they'll do it in a loving way, they'll do it in a supportive way, but loyal to help to see you grow, not loyal to tell you what you want to hear so you feel that you're on that pedestal that you've maybe even put yourself. So I think that type of loyalty is a good quality.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Probably trustworthiness. Like a friend who I know if I tell them something in confidence, it stays with them. Like I think there's nothing worse than telling someone something that you really wish they'd kept to themselves and then finding out that it got out to the general community or to another friend. I think, a friend that you can trust. And also someone who's also like, and this is tough, and I've been really convicted about this because I'm like, Katie, are you this kind of friend? Like, it's nice to have them, but are you? But like, I'm so grateful to have such faithful friends like who've stood with me regardless of where I've been at or how much I'm actually giving them, like joy or fun or like in some of my worst times, and have just stood. And I think that's for me, I've been so convicted to like be a better friend in that way. And like I'm so grateful when I think of the friends that have had such an impact on my life. Like it's been those people that have just stood firm. Yeah, I don't know what the word is for that. Steadfast, maybe.
Yeah, that is a good word. I would say friends. I think you should have like two types of friends. Friends that are older than you. Well, friends meant, I don't know. But like friends that are older than you that inspire you, that you like how their life looks.
Yes.
Because that's that has changed my life is really following and being intentional. Not following, like, hey, but like,
Hi there.
hey,
Can I
hey.
carry your bags?
But like, so maybe following is the wrong word.
No.
But like being intentional about being around them and watching their lives and looking at how they do things and looking at how they handle things, that's, I think, really important, especially when you are in high school, because you're not going to be in high school forever. So it's good to know, what life outside there looks like. But yeah, I think really having friends that inspire you, that you would want like your life to look a little bit like theirs, and friends, and I hate this, but it's so good for you. Friends that challenge you.
Yeah.
I hate being
It's
challenged.
the hardest, but
But
it's the
yeah,
best.
it's horrible. But it changes your life because it also, if a friend challenges you, you know they actually genuinely love you. Because it's not easy to challenge someone. I hate challenging someone.
It's way easier to
like this.
encourage someone.
Yeah, it's easy.
It's way easier.
Say you're great, but like to see something in someone that's not great and you can see they can do better or be better, and to call that out of them is hard, but it's good for their lives, because I know that someone really loves me and I have so many friends that challenge me. But it's good because I know they love me, because they would rather see me do good and change that thing than be stuck in that thing, and I still love them in that moment, which I think is good. Like even I was reading this before. Do you mind if I read it? No? Okay. It's in Proverbs. Great. Oh, Proverbs 13:20. It says, walk with the wise and become wise, associate with fools and get in trouble. And I just think,
Hey,
I know, but I've walked with
with the fools.
I've walked with the fools, and I've been the fool, and I've gotten in trouble. You walk with the fools and you come home and you're still lonely, and you still, you still have all the same problems. You still, whether you struggle with depression or anxiety, you still have those things. And sometimes that gets deeper when you're walking with the fools. But like when my friend group shifted a little bit, not that I didn't go through tough things, but it was easier because you knew you had people who genuinely loved you and would help you see the other side, if that makes sense. Like, I love that I have friends that are wise and that are have like a settled identity. That's one thing I love about my friends, is that their identity is settled and they know who they are. So if I'm around them for long enough, often I get challenged if I'm like insecure. I don't know, Kels, you'll know because you're a girl. But like, yeah, I don't know. It just challenges you to be a little bit more confident or be authentic. That's a tough thing. Get friends that are real and authentic, because fake friends are not going to last very long. But
They're not.
no, they blow with the wind.
It's good. Awesome. Thanks, guys. That was really good. Thank you so much for everything that you've shared. We really hope that this helped somebody that's watching, even if it is just Kelly who's looking at the screen. And
Samantha. We didn't forget about
Samantha, you're great too. But yeah, thank you so much. And we'll have another couch session next week.
you. Yes.
Not with y'all.
Oh,
Damn
Sorry
it.
about that. It's a one-time thing. Yeah,
No,
it
bring
is
me
what it
back,
is.
please.
I'll think about it. But
Bring back the
I
champions.
would watch with you.
Hmm?
bring back the champions in a few seasons.
Yeah, exactly. We'll mix it up.
MasterChef.
But it's going to be good. So we will see you next week.
Yes.
Peace out, yo.
Love you guys.
Peace.